simplicity, specificity, and clarity.
Can you say that quick?
What we're all trying to do here, right, is we're all trying to, and Jesus says throughout the course that this is a simple course. So there's only 4 parts to the course. Okay? That's A Course in Miracles.
That's only 3 parts.
1, 2, 3, and there is a 4th part that I haven't put there. Comments?
The thing is that, from my experience of doing this, I'm doing it on my own for it's like, if it's so simple, the book is really, really kind of complicated to read.
Yeah.
So the sense I have is it like satisfies my ego, that I could just be going in and distracts me. And some of the things you were saying earlier I found very helpful about that. It's a device.
Yeah.
It's just a mechanical thing. You just do and do and do. And the other thing that I found, seeing as I'm talking now, was the amount of upset that has come up in me in the last month since I was here the last month. Has amazed me. I'm fucking upset. But you were
world.
But,
That was Marie's dancing that brought all that.
But I think that thing you said about 1,000 times a day, who you're working with.
Yeah.
And you said something I was just saying to Joe and Damien at the break, that we're not here. It really struck me, and that was brilliant. We're not here to change the world. The world is here to change us.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. But throughout the course, you'll have seen that Jesus refers that this is a simple course. He says it's so often. And he also says it's only the ego that makes it complicated. So what I have always tried to do in all the teachings that I have undertaken is try to make it as simple and as specific and as clear as possible. But like I said, you can be doing the course as a holy book, just replacing the Bible again and going through all of that kind of religious kind of adoration and idols and all that stuff. You can look at this as psychology, you can look at it from spiritual, you can look at it from mechanical. That's the choice that you have. But if you're looking at, the way that I see all of this, I see it only through mechanical eyes. I don't buy into the holy, unholy story, the drama that's all in religion and everything else that's there. Okay? I love the psychotherapy that's in the course, and I love the spiritual aspect of the course. But it's the mechanical part of the course that really simplifies the whole thing, because you're taking the whole story out of it. Remember what Jesus says at the very end? He says, forget this course. Okay? And come to God wholly with empty hands. And that's beyond beliefs. Okay? So it's not about mastering the course. The course is here to help us to go beyond the course. So here, getting back to 4 parts. Special prize. Anybody? 1, 2, and 3. This is A Course in Miracles. Okay? Simplicity and specificity at its clearest.
Wrong mind.
What is it? A way home.
Wrong.
Undoing the ego.
Forgiveness has to be in there.
I just want to pick up on that. Undoing the ego. And I'm going to refer to what the Course says. To the ego, to undo means to destroy. You will not destroy the ego. The ego is a part of your thought. You must reinterpret the ego. So if the ego is one of fear, all right, how do we reinterpret it? There's only 2 emotions. What's the only 2 emotions?
Love and fear.
Love and fear. So therefore, we must reinterpret the ego. So what's the reinterpretation of the ego?
It's all real.
Speak up, don't be shy. You are wrong, but let's hear it.
See, the ego doesn't want to be wrong.
Ego's never wrong. That's the problem. Always wants to be right. You must reinterpret the ego with love. So therefore now it's not the enemy, it must be seen as your friend. So how is it our friend?
Because it's a device that we can use to wake up.
Exactly. Okay, if it wasn't for the ego, we wouldn't be able to wake up. Because remember, the ego is only there to facilitate our awakening. That's why the story of we were never awake is so important in all of this, because if you don't buy into that story, if you don't want to agree with that story, then you're always going to be stuck with the ego. It's the enemy. It's the devil. All right? It's the battle between dark forces and light forces. All of this drama, drama, drama.
So what you're saying is that you must embrace the ego and rather than fight it.
No, I'm not talking about embracing it.
Looking
I'm talking about understanding what is it for, how does it work. Simple as that. You see, all fear comes from the ego because you don't know how it works. It's built upon cause and effect. Simple as that. So there's 4 parts to the course, and these are the 4 parts. And no one gets an apple. All right? First part is everything above this line is truth. Of course, calls it knowledge. You could say the Holy Spirit. You could say your true self. Okay, so here you are awake. Yeah? So that leaves this part.
Asleep.
These are very, very astute. And then number 2.
Waking up.
Get arms up. The Course in Miracles.
Forgiveness.
Keep going.
Dreaming.
A big fat drowning needle just stuck in your backside.
Awareness?
Think about it. It's right in front of you. Look at the picture.
Waking up?
No. So you're
What's
awake
the
up there.
question
You're
again?
asleep down here.
The dream.
Observer. Observer.
The ego.
So you're only guessing. What's the line?
The dream or the illusion.
Separation.
It's not the separation.
It's the concept of the thought of
It's the belief of
There you go.
separation, because there is no separation. So here you have. I'm going to be doing this in the final teacher's course, Module 8, because when we were doing that course, I remember, I think on the 4th or 5th module we were doing, remember I was telling you we were going to bring everything to an end. Everything was going to come together at the end. Well, when it came to the 7th, it didn't come together, and I was kind of, what the hell happened there? Like, because I was told that this was what it was going to be. It wasn't until I was in America that the end came. And then I realized then that the reason why that happened was because it was to give time to all those people who weren't doing their homework. Not looking at anything in particular. All right?
You
So
said
it
it
was,
didn't matter whether we did it or not.
because it was to give that time and space to let all of this, because it was a very intense course. It was going very heavy, but what's going to happen on the 13th is going to be really special, because you're going to have something that blew me away.
Special.
Yeah. So, nothing wrong with being special. We're all special.
What's special?
So here we have, right, this is what A Course in Miracles is, right. Our journey, right, is very simple. Okay, we go from here to here. And that means that we have to go through this. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's A Course in Miracles. Full stop. What's the 4th part of the course?
Resistance.
Michael Murray.
Choice.
The world.
Keep going.
not atonement, is it?
The most important part,
Forgiveness.
the tools. Because
That's 2 hours.
that is what takes you from here to here. Isn't that right? Okay, so everybody at this stage here is enlightened.
That's us.
Okay? All agree on that?
Yeah.
Everybody here is unenlightened.
That's
All right, so how do you become enlightened?
Let go of the belief in separation.
You stop unenlightening yourself. You don't have to do anything to become enlightened. All you have to do is stop unenlightening yourself. So how do we unenlighten ourselves?
With the tools.
the ego's tools. If you continue to use the ego's tools, you stay here. Simple as that. Here is where Jesus says, if you don't pay special attention, I don't think he used the word special, if you don't use careful attention at these earlier stages, you're going to confuse all with fear. Isn't that what he says?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is there only one person going to agree with me?
Yes,
Huh?
Yeah, he did.
Right. Okay. So, what happens is this. Again, we're here. Now, it's the whole focus that what you should be doing in the course is this part, not this part. It's this part we have to put our focus to separate itself. So, here, that box represents what? The ego thought system. And that represents the separated self. What has to happen here now? And if this doesn't happen, that's what Jesus meant by this line. If you try to go from here to here, all right, without doing something first, what's going to happen?
Terror, panic.
Pure terror. Why?
You're still separated.
Generate fear.
Of course, that's what terror is.
Because you still believe in separation.
No,
You're not ready for it. You
No.
haven't-
because you still have guilt and.
no,
You still see yourself. as-
no.
You try to do it
see
yourself.
Put away from there.
You're not inviting the
You
Holy
cannot
Spirit
bring
with
fear
you.
and guilt and that into heaven
You have
as
to
such.
undo it. for it.
Exactly. So what has to happen?
You got to shed it along the way.
How?
Forgiveness.
Of course. But what has to take place?
Transformation.
Change
Well,
it.
that's what is happening. What must you do here first? You can't, like Joe says, you can't take the whole thought system into here. So that's like this room is completely light. This thought system is dark. All right? What happens the moment that you open the door? Does the darkness come into the room? No?
No.
Where does it
Light
stay?
goes out.
It stays outside. So when the darkness comes in, what happens to the darkness? The light shines it away.
Yeah.
That's where the fear is engendered. Okay? So what has to happen? How do you do this without engendering fear?
Give.
Release.
No, no.
You do with the Holy Spirit.
Handing over.
Reinterpret the ego.
We've done that already.
Develop a relationship with the Holy Spirit.
Undo the belief in separation.
What has to happen is you have to separate yourself from the thought system. Okay, you see when you're asleep, all right, here in the middle of the ego thought system, you're actually become the manifestation of the ego itself. You become the spokesperson of the ego. So someone who is very deeply unconscious, you'll see that person out and they'll be basically trying to take over the world, rule the world, destroy the world. You do it, whatever you want to do. Okay? So that person, there's no difference between them and the thought system that they're in. So a separation has to take place. So where's the separation take place?
In the mind.
No.
You let that thought system go.
The separation takes place between the separated self and the ego thought system itself. You see, if you try to go up here without first separating from the ego thought system, then you're trying to take the whole ego thought system, all that darkness, into heaven.
So you had to learn to recognize that you're separated self within this thought system, and then set about trying to get it, take your separated self out of that thought system.
No!
Oh.
God,
Is that all about being
Just
the
tell us
observer?
I'm not going away for 3 months again.
No, see what happens.
It's not your fault.
And never leave the kids alone.
Ah.
Let's go to the pub, lads.
I think it's been in the pub since 11 anyway, like, you know? What has to
It
happen?
seems to me that the way you've drawn that diagram, this is for me, my
Yeah.
understanding of it, that you've drawn a line and there's something below and above.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, for me, a way would be if you drew that circle and the square in the center, and the entire page is the awake state, if you like, the peaceful state, the connection with God,
Yeah.
which is always, always there.
Yeah.
And the only thing that it stops us experiencing that is the illusionary
Yeah.
idea that we are an individual
Yeah.
identity
Mm-hmm.
caught up in all of this stuff.
Yep, you're 100%
So the thing
right.
is, like, we feel like we're giving up something,
Mm-hmm.
and that the ego is very clever about making sure that, you know, if you have none of this stuff that you think you are, you know, there's just nothing. Whereas in actual fact, there's everything.
Exactly. So how do we go about it?
Dropping everything.
Rubbing out, erasing.
We
Well,
must, this self is totally made up, it's totally illusory. The true self is behind this, it's underneath this. Isn't that right? So as long as we stay attached to this self, what happens is people who are doing the course are trying to bring themselves and the entire thought system up to this level. Can't be done. Simply can't be done. And that's where all the fear and the terror comes with. What has to happen is this self has to be dismantled. It has to be dissolved.
How?
Good question.
Actions, letting go.
We're not going to get into it today because we haven't enough time, but this is exactly what we're going to be doing in the teacher's course on the 13th. All right, I'm just going to give you a rough idea. All right, we've got all the pieces now, all the components are together, and this is what people have been searching for in spirituality for 2,000 years, called the search for self. You see here, here, all right, is the two selves. All right, so there's the I am here, and there's the I am here. See, everybody thinks about the I am, and they go automatically to here. And when I remember when I was doing the I am here earlier this year, last year, remember I was doing when you take the I out of the story, the whole story falls apart. And then there were people, I got an emails from everybody, oh, the I am is everything. You know, Eckhart Tolle talks about the I am, this person talks about the I am, and you're saying the whole I am is made up. What I was talking about was the I am here, not the I am here. Okay? The I am here is the I that's keeping us away from the true I am. So the I am here, I am afraid of flying, I am afraid of spiders, I am afraid of this, I am afraid of that, I am guilty of this, I am guilty of that. That's the I am that has to be undone first. So, the other great delusion that everybody on the spiritual world, for centuries have been doing was, know thyself. And everybody assumed that was to know your true self. No one ever thought it was about know who you are, because